If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Hello, kitties. This is yours duly, the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to Slasher Radio.
Okay, you guys ready to go?
Good Lord, I've been ready for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to poop and do some things. I'll get mad at you when you gotta poop. Welcome to Slasher Radio. My name is Mikey Bones, and I'm joined by my fellow hosts, Rob Humphrey and Cat Valor. What's going on, guys?
Not much.
What's happening?
Going?
I don't know why I yelled Cat's name. I'm sorry, Cat. I apologize.
It's okay.
I got excited. Oh, man, we are back. We are fresh off of your brother joining the show, Rob. We're talking about The Fly. We got a Patreon pick this week. We're going to get to a little bit of horror news. We have a text message that Ghostface is going to stop by and read. And we're going to be talking a very iconic film in the genre, Ringu. Got a lot of shit to get to.
I was in Greg's live earlier tonight, and he and Amber both wanted me to tell you that they said hello, Cat.
Aw, thank you.
Oh,
What?
what about me?
They didn't say anything. I don't know.
Oh, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. All right, I see, Greg. Okay, that's messed up. I see how it is. Don't worry about it.
Huge clown penis.
All right. We have, you guys want to get to drink roll call real quick, and then we can hop into the text message before we get into the rest of the shenanigans.
Yeah, I bought lemons today because I was going to make whiskey sour specifically for drink roll call, but then I got too lazy, so I'm just drinking cheer wine.
I really thought you were going to say I'm just drinking lemons.
Yeah, no, I actually, even during that extended break that we took between this and the Patreon show, thought about going to make one, and I just didn't have the give a shit enough to get up and do it. So
All right.
Why you say extended break, man? It wasn't that long.
it was a long break. Long break. I don't know what you were doing.
Yeah, Rob,
there.
you should have said during the pooping break.
It wasn't that long. Don't make me self-conscious.
It was a long break. You didn't have to go that bad. That's all I'm saying.
You don't know. I'm just drinking iced tea. I am enjoying my my herbery as I always do. And I was thinking about making a drink, but honestly, man, the mornings after are rough when I do that. So yeah, I'm just drinking iced tea, but I am in the mood of the festivities. Anybody knows what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I'm also, I am the festivities, so I bring it with me wherever I go.
That is not true. Kat, what about you?
I am drinking a spiced Coke and rum.
Ooh.
What? Spiced Coke? What is that?
They have a flavor of Coke called Spiced Coke. It was not popular. It's going to be going away very soon. It's been out for like 2 weeks. I'm already having a tough time finding it on the shelves. It is gross to drink straight, but it tastes really good with rum.
Okay. When that does go away, Kat, what you can do is you can buy regular Coke and put spiced rum in it.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's what gave me the idea.
Yeah, because that is typically my drink of choice. Spiced rum and Coke is fantastic.
Well, I wanted to see if it worked, the other way around.
Sure.
And also, I usually have more rum in the house than spiced rum. So it kind of, I was going to say it worked out a little bit easier, but actually a couple weeks ago, I tried to do this as well and realized I was out of rum. And then it was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
I tried it with vodka and I was like, this isn't nearly as good.
Yeah.
But then
vodka,
I had a
don't think
tough
is the
time
same.
finding spiced Coke again. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that I tried it before the spiced Coke went away.
That's good. That's good. I'm in a weird situation where I have currently no rum in the house, which is very, very unusual for me.
That's not ideal.
Yeah.
Well, see, I just Googled Spice Coke because I never heard of that before.
I don't either.
And I'm interested to try it just because I'm a sucker. Like, I'll try all the fucking gimmick drinks that these big, beverage I can't help myself. But see, my problem with this is every fucking, I forget, they had like a couple of different Cokes that they had out there. Every label for these like gimmick drinks that Coke puts out looks exactly fucking the same.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
This looks, I actually, that's how I ended up with my first bottle of spiced Coke because I thought they brought Coke Starlight back.
That's
I
what
was a
it
huge fan of that one.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to make fun of that one and ask if anybody remembers when they had that Coke Galaxy or whatever the fuck it was called.
It was really good.
The label is identical to the Starlight. Like, why? You would think you could do all
know.
kinds of spicy shit with it, and they just didn't. Interesting.
Out of all of the gimmicky drinks, though, I think one of my favorites was the Fire Pepsi. I don't know if anyone remembers that one.
I do not.
I used to drink it with Fireball whiskey, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, I can't do Fireball whiskey. I'm too old for that.
I never was a fan of Fireball, man.
I can't. I got heartburn. I can't be dicking around with that kind of stuff. Old.
That I got heartburn. All right. We do have a text message to get to. The phone number is 917-397-KILL.
Trace the call. It's coming from inside the house.
That's 917-397-5455. That is where you can leave a text message or voicemail for the show. You can ask anything horror related or say anything horror related or show related. And if you send it a text message, Ghostface will read the text message. All right, here we go.
Hello, listeners. This text message is from the potato thief Tasha. It reads, "Hello, my favorite people. I didn't look up a movie made in Canada this week, so I'm sorry, Mikey, but I have something equally surprising. All of you should listen to Rob about The Fly. This man's favorite movie is a romance, so clearly if anyone will know how movie romance is supposed to work, it's Rob. Just substitute flies for fish, and it all makes sense for him. Kat, I appreciate you thinking of me after the argument over my husband, and I accept your apology. Love you."
Wow.
All
I
right.
kind of got away scot-free on that one. I'm not even mad right now.
A little bit. I mean, look, she's right. You should listen to me.
I was gonna say Rob can't even be too mad about that one because it started with "we should listen to you."
I mean, Tasha has a point. You are the expert on love movies because your favorite movie is a romance that you keep trying to say is horror.
I wouldn't say it's a romance, but I mean, it has romance elements mixed in with, horror.
It's a romance. You have to come to terms with that. Yeah, I kind of got away scot-free on this one. But, I mean, yeah, the whole Skarsgård thing, Tasha, you're not in the majority of that one, buddy. Like, I'm just going to leave that there.
She has to stick up for him because they're married.
Does he know?
He doesn't know yet, but
Oh, it's awkward.
she's laying some goodwill down by defending him when he gets in over his head with stuff.
Rob, this Skarsgård guy is going to wake up with Tasha in his bed with a bunch of fucking potatoes everywhere one day.
Yeah. She's going to take all the potatoes over his house. It's going to be it's going to be a problem.
That's probably the best offer he's going to get is a bunch of potatoes.
It's like when a cat brings you like a dead mouse.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, I got you a gift. Tasha just comes with fucking barrels of potatoes. Yeah, I'm not mad at that one, Tasha. I appreciate the laying off the Canada shit. Especially, oh shit, I forgot to look up all that Child's Play stuff to make sure which are in and not in Canada. So she really could have got me here with my pants down. So I'm glad.
I know that some of those were filmed in like Romania or something, Mikey. So
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the other ones were. I'm not sure. Seed might have been Canadian, but it's Seed, so who cares?
Yeah, that can be filmed anywhere. We don't give a shit. Yeah, that don't bother us. All right. So do you guys want to get into some horror news real quick? It's been a while since we've done news.
Sure.
All right.
It's been a slow news time.
It has been. The thing is with the news for a while now, it's really just all Scream shit.
Yeah.
It's like, how much can we talk about that? All right, so there's not a tremendous amount, but there are some big things that have been going on lately, and I feel like it's worth talking about. Jason Universe is now a thing, and it spread throughout the internet like fucking wildfire and social media. Everybody's talking about it. What it is it's I don't exactly know how to explain it. It looks like a company that, what I'm assuming, it's owned by Horror Inc., which is Sean Cunningham. There seems to be developments that are going on. Believe it or not, friend of the show, Polyester, I've been going back and forth with him a lot about this because Jason has been something that the Dead by Daylight world has wanted for a long time. And now it seems like it's possible. There is a lot of fuel to that fire, though, because Matthew Cote followed the Jason Universe Twitter, and the Jason Universe Twitter is following Fortnite and a couple other games. And Jason is now going to be in, it's been announced recently, in that multiverse game that WB is making. So there's a lot going on with Jason moving around. It does look like Sean Cunningham is involved. Victor Miller is involved. And I say that because there were some screenshots of Jason in that multiverse game where his name was just Jason. But now there are new screenshots that are with Jason Voorhees, which I would imagine is owned by Victor Miller, Rob. You would think, right?
I have no clue. Like, that is so confusing to me, but
yeah, we're guessing here.
Yeah, I would guess so. I mean, so the best thread that I saw about this, the best information that I saw about this came from Larry Zerner. He tweeted a thread about it, about the whole thing. And he explained it much better than I would ever be able to explain it. But
yes,
it sounds like, they've reached a deal because they really had no other choice than to reach a deal, and they're going to start licensing Jason out again to stuff, although there's no word on any sort of new movie or anything in the works.
No, but
it does look like we'll start to see Jason pop up in places again, like Dead by Daylight and that stuff. And then I don't know if you want to talk about the TV show and what's going on with that.
What's going on with that? Something new?
It's been shelved.
Has it? I heard it was, and then it wasn't, and then it was.
Apparently, who was the guy they put in charge? The same guy who did Hannibal. Why can't I think of his name? He was put in charge of it, and I was excited because he did a good job with Hannibal, and I thought, okay, this is a guy who has shown that he can do this sort of thing, and so it'll be good. Well, apparently, A24 decided they wanted to take it in a different direction, and they cut him loose, and so right now it's shelved.
Well, let me say something on that real quick. I feel like, because that was announced very early in a lot of these things, like since the lawsuit was finalized. I feel like Cunningham and Miller are more on an equal ground now as far as wanting to get things done and start making money again, most importantly. That direction could have changed because now they're working together and they can do more, right? Speculation.
I suppose so. I don't know. I'm trying to find now exactly what I was trying to see, if there was what the latest was on that series, and for some reason nothing is coming up about it being shelved or them changing directions. But that was the big news for a while. Yeah, Brian Fuller, that was the guy's name. Is apparently no longer involved with it, and A24 does say they're going to move forward without him, but I don't know what that does, because they were talking like the release date was supposedly coming up for that, like it was supposed to be out this year, but now they're saying they're retooling. My guess is that we're not going to see it for a while.
Yeah, and that's what I took from it, because it does, like I said, Horror Inc. owns this Jason universe, is from what I've been reading, and again, I'm not an expert in any of this, and the amount of information they've given out on exactly who owns what and what they're doing with what and who gets what and all that shit is practically non-existent. So a lot of it we have to piece together as far as rights and timelines of the movies versus the original. Yeah, I don't know, man, but it's a good thing. It's a good step.
It's a step. I don't know that it's a good step. I mean,
Why
honestly,
not?
I don't give a shit if Jason's licensed to video games. I just want another fucking movie.
Well, yeah, but I feel like this has to happen, though.
It doesn't have to happen. But it doesn't. I'm not mad that it's happening.
Right.
I'm not going to celebrate it either. Like, it's a step. It's fine. But I would rather this. I would rather their time and effort be put towards another fucking movie. Finally, I mean, we haven't gotten one in 15 years.
Yeah, but I feel like in today's age, it has to happen. You know what I mean? Like it has to. They need to be able to recoup some of this money that they've lost throughout all this time. They probably have a million scripts and ideas and whatever the hell else they have to go through for a new movie. And like we were talking about with DeSanti recently, really doing this and doing it right. Hopefully this is their outlook of it. And they want to, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it right. And it all has to be, it all has to connect in one way or another. I feel like starting somewhere is a good thing. And in these games, dude, like that's a big step as far as him getting out there.
But you don't need to get him out there. It's been 15 years since we had a movie and people still know who Jason is. It's not like the character's gone away from the fucking public view. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. I'm not mad about it. I just don't see it as necessarily a positive step towards getting another movie, which is ultimately what I want. It's the only thing I give a fuck about. I don't even care about this TV show, really. Would I watch it? Of course I would, but just give me another fucking movie.
Dude, kids have been born and are now able to drive since Jason's been in a movie.
Yeah, but they know who he is.
They know who he is, but really getting him in their face and seeing how strong he is and reminding people of who he is, the younger fans. I understand
make a good
what you're
movie
saying.
and all of that is accomplished.
Yeah.
In one fell swoop. Look, it's fine. License him out, put him in games. That's fine. I mean, this whatever this universe game is,
it's not a game.
Whatever the fuck it's called. No, I'm talking about the game that they're
multiverse.
Multiverse. That isn't going to be Jason. That sounds like some cartoony bullshit.
It is.
But it's fine. License him out to whatever you need to. I don't care one way or another. I just want a movie. You know what I mean? Like the rest of it's all side bullshit that it doesn't really matter to me.
I have no real thoughts. I'm not going to be too mad if they do something. The video game's going to be fun for people that play it. I guess if they can include Jason. I kind of see what you're saying about it being a step forward, because if it brings people together on the rights issues, which is something that we have not seen for 15 years. But in terms of fan base, like I really don't think there's any game that's going to promote Jason Voorhees in a way that's going to hype up movie fans any more than they're already hyped up. Like, we just want content.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Friday the 13th game is still there.
Sort of.
Only for another 7 months.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not a bad thing, like if he shows up in Dead by Daylight, that'll be great. But
oh my God, that'll be huge.
It's not the most important thing to me. A movie is what I fucking want.
Oh yeah, that's more important.
I'll get excited when there's news of a movie. Then I'll get excited.
Yeah. But like I said, man, I feel like this is a good step because they need money to make a movie. I understand you partner with companies and all that. That's what all that is for. But building up money, revenue, a stockpile of some shit that you can then bring to like some kind of armory to production for a movie. I don't feel like it's the worst thing in the world.
They're not going to spend an armory worth of money on a fucking Friday the 13th movie.
They should. Dude, I feel like they should. I know, but now's the time, man. DeSanti really, and the videos are going up on YouTube. You can obviously go back on this feed and listen to the full interview. It was a great conversation, and obviously he's not directly involved in any of this, sure, but his thought process, and he's created his own mini little Friday the 13th franchise himself. It's doing, like, I looked into it, like I did a little bit of numbers on it, and I can't remember the exact amount because I was just doing it for fun out of curiosity. Dude, if Never Hike Alone Granted, the amount of people who would go to see it as opposed to it being free on YouTube, sure. But the reach and all that taken into account, whatever, fine. But the views equate to like an incredible box office for those movies. So like they're nothing to sneeze at, the Never Hike Alone films. But his thought process is really good, man. You got to do it all right. You gotta really put effort into it. You gotta pay good writers. The effects have got to be great. You really, if they come correctly with this and don't put out any bullshit, dude, they can have a whole new renaissance with this franchise right now.
Yeah.
So I hope this is the start of something great. But the Jason universe, dude, that's awesome that they're starting to like Kat said, they're at least sitting down together and getting shit done. So I'm happy about that. The next thing I wanted to bring up was Beetlejuice. There was a new trailer that came out, and it shows a lot of practical effects, old school practical effects. And I don't know if you guys seen the trailer. I have not seen it yet. I'm probably going to reaction to it on YouTube soon. I've been wanting to do it with the last one, so I'm glad a new one is out. Do you guys give a shit?
What trailer for what? I wasn't paying attention.
Beetlejuice.
Oh,
Beetlejuice, goddammit.
I don't give a fuck.
You son of a bitch.
Where I'm at with it is I think it's going to be bad, but I am morbidly curious at this point. I didn't watch the trailer. I'm probably not going to watch any of the promotional stuff unless I come across it, pretty naturally. I've not seen a lot of buzz online for this one, which is interesting.
I've seen a lot. I don't know. I also don't pay too much attention, but I do see people talking about Beetlejuice. I feel like everyone's kind of over though. Like I do kind of see what you mean though, Kat. Like people are kind of over all the old shit coming back now. Like they lost its pizzazz.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't help when The Strangers comes back in the way that it did. Speaking of old shit coming back and sucking real bad.
Yeah. See, that's the thing though. For a while you were able to put out bullshit. And if it was an old title and you had like a familiar face or two in it, even people just forgave it and they loved it no matter what. It's like now people are like kind of off that high and they're like, oh, okay, well, is it good though?
Yeah.
And that's what it always should have been though. Like I'm not defending it. It always should have been that.
Right. I mean, I don't have a love for Beetlejuice the way that a lot of people do. Like I never really liked that movie that much. I think the character is fun and interesting, but I don't like the movie generally overall. So I was never interested in a sequel. However, god awful many years later, I just don't expect it to be very good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched the trailer. I will be watching the trailer, and I've been wanting to do a reaction video to it on YouTube for a while. So that's the thing though. Like when I get busy and it takes me a while to get to it and so much time has gone by, it's like, well, fuck, why am I even going to do it?
Right.
But so this kind of helps out a lot. The next, I guess this is worth mentioning. Tom Savini is going to be in Terrifier 3.
Is he going to be in Terrifier 3 or is he helping with effects on Terrifier 3?
It seemed like from what I read, he is going to, let me look it up real quick. Okay. I just remember.
I saw something about it. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it though. Because it's Terrifier 3.
Fuck that shit, goddammit. Terrifier 3, makeup effects legend Tom Savini will appear in the slasher sequel.
He's like, I don't mind Tom Savini as an actor. Like he's great as Cock Gun or whatever his character's name is in From Dusk Till Dawn.
I mean, it's great. Tom Savini is a legend. His work is absolutely legendary and iconic. He's a master and the best ever in the genre to do it, in my opinion. My opinion on him has soured recently due to personal reasons, but nonetheless, I'm not going to go into detail on that. But I mean, it's cool though, man. Like Rob, come on, the Terrifier, especially Terrifier 2, their effects have been over the top, and it has some charm to it in a way that we haven't seen in a while. And it is kind of cool that an effects icon like Tom Savini is going to be in that style of movie. Come on.
No, it's cool. It doesn't hurt the movie in any way. That's
right.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it still doesn't make me excited for the movie, but
won't love anything. And the biggest thing, I don't know if you guys had anything else to mention for news this week. But
I've got one thing, but I'm waiting to see if you mention it.
All right. Well, this is possibly it. The last thing that I had to bring up was Blumhouse is bringing back My Bloody Valentine. They have their hands on, I believe, the franchise. I again, how these rights work, I'm not positive with what they have access to. I don't know if the rights are even combined with the remake and the original. I don't even know if you can call it a franchise with only 2 movies. And one of them being a remake.
I don't. There's not much to have rights to. It's the original and the remake. That's pretty much it.
Right. But either way, Blumhouse has it. And dude, I love Blumhouse. I love My Bloody Valentine. This is incredible. And I cannot wait to see what they do with it.
Could be great. Yeah. It could be great. It's Blumhouse is, for me, hit or miss. Sometimes they try to cast the net too wide and they make PG-13 horror movies that I don't really give a fuck about. I don't find that interesting. Sometimes they make Halloween 2018, let's hope this is more like Halloween 2018.
Yeah, but sometimes they make Halloween Ends.
Let's hope this is more like Halloween Ends.
Oh my God. Cat, help me.
Listen, I'd rather it be more like Halloween Ends than EyeRChris 2019. So
yes, that's right. I forgot yep.
I don't know if I agree with that statement.
I
don't know.
You do.
I don't know.
You do, though.
Halloween Ends really pissed me off. I hope Brian Turek is listening to this.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got nothing better to do than sit around and listen to this bullshit
he's
show.
like, I'll find out once and for all. They never answered me, really. They were avoiding it.
If he is listening, I love Halloween Ends. Just, but I doubt he is. It's Blumhouse is an interesting company for me because I do find them hit or miss. Like the stuff that they make that I like, I really, really like. But then there's a lot of stuff that I think is just kind of middling. But typically that's the stuff that they release and they're like, it's a PG-13 movie and they're trying to reach as wide an audience as possible. And I get that. It makes sense for money reasons and everything, but it typically makes a not very good movie. So again, let's hope that this is more like the Halloween trilogy that they made and less like, as Kat said, Black Christmas 2019, which was awful.
Oh yeah, no argument there. It was awful.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure on this one because the Black Christmas movie, good example that they did. There were other Black Christmas remakes that sucked. So it's like it was already tarnished already before that.
Kind of, but they did they went above and beyond.
Yeah.
I mean, they did manage to make the worst one.
Sure.
But yeah, it was already, I see what you're saying, Mikey, and that we already had a really terrible Black Christmas movie. So
we've got a good, I was going to call it a streak, but we really do have a perfect record on My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's only really been done twice, but it was done really well both times. Same thing with The Exorcist Believer, right? Like I wasn't worried about it because The Exorcist already had a bunch of shitty sequels. So if that one wasn't good, it didn't matter.
Right.
I like The Exorcist Believer more than most people, but that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Right. You didn't like it more than other Rob, though.
Oh, that guy.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. And Halloween is a good example too. Like, feel how you feel about Halloween Ends. A lot of people didn't like it, but it's not like there was never a bad Halloween movie before.
No, I mean, Resurrection exists.
Hey, I heard. Hold on. I lost. I'll have you know, I had an issue with my mixer not too long ago, and I did lose some of my buttons, but I didn't lose this one, Rob.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
That's what you get.
So embarrassing.
But yeah, the first Black Christmas, the original Black Christmas, was so good, and the remake was really, really good too.
Whoa! What remake?
Did I say Black Christmas?
Yes.
I meant My Bloody Valentine.
Let's pump the brakes on that.
No, back to My Bloody
is watchable at best.
Yes. No, getting back to My Bloody Valentine is what I meant. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on this one, and maybe since Halloween 2018, there's more pressure on a movie for that. This is the most pressure they've had on a movie since then, and probably even before then, because these two movies are so good. And My Bloody Valentine, even though it wasn't like a franchise, it's like it's an iconic film, but it's very beloved, and there hasn't been a blemish on its record yet, even though 2 movies. But maybe that's why, because it wasn't overused and kind of prostituted around. I want this to be good so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And if anybody at Blumhouse is listening, the key to making this good, Tom Atkins.
I really hope he's not in this.
It worked in the remake. It'll work again.
I was going to say, you can't even really argue with it, though, Mikey, because it did work in the remake.
In fact, Tom Atkins should be in every movie.
Well,
okay, let's hold on. It didn't work. It's not like Tom Atkins was the reason the remake was good or nothing. He was just happened to be in it.
I don't know that can be argued.
If he wasn't in it, it wouldn't have changed the movie whatsoever.
The man is the star of Lethal Weapon.
You need to stop. I love Lethal Weapon, man. You need to stop saying that. I love that movie so much. When I was little, I called it Lethal Weapon, and I would ask to watch it. My mom would tell me that shit all the time.
You were a dumbass.
I was, but still, I love Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I hope it's good too. I don't, I would love to see it be good and to revitalize My Bloody Valentine, and maybe we get some more movies, because it's a movie we should have gotten a sequel to and we never did.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is just kind of a big deal to me, and I love it. And who knows, dude? We could see, like, if this does really well, who's to say there won't be more? Like, we could get a sequel to it.
So, and who knows? I mean, I don't know what direction they're going to go. Are they going to do a thing where they're making a sequel to the original film or something? As opposed to another remake? I don't know.
They haven't announced it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be a direct sequel. This could be the sequel.
Yeah. But hopefully it's good Blumhouse. That's all, because good Blumhouse is really good.
Yeah.
My news also involves Blumhouse, but was not that. And it's a bit of rumors, which I know we don't normally talk about, but I wanted to get specifically Kat's opinion on this. I don't know if you saw this, Kat, or not, but the rumor going around is we know that David Gordon Green was removed as director of the next Exorcist film.
yes.
Apparently, they have been talking to Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know how to feel
I didn't know
about
if
that.
that was confirmed, because Mike Flanagan, and maybe this is just me not being as in the loop as I used to be. Mike Flanagan, like last year or maybe even the year before, was supposed to be working on an adaptation of Stephen King's Revival, and then that got shelved, and then there were a bunch of rumors that he was doing a new take on The Gunslinger, and then there were a bunch of rumors that he was maybe working on a remake of Labyrinth. And I feel like every time I see Mike Flanagan's name, it's related to rumors about a project that we never hear anything else about ever since Revival. So I saw the Exorcist thing, and then I didn't even know, like, I just didn't take it seriously. I assumed it was another one of those things.
No, it has been kicked around as just a rumor as far as I know. I was just interested in the idea. Like, I don't know whether I like that or not, to be honest with you. I don't know what a Mike Flanagan Exorcist film looks like.
As an idea, here's the thing, is that, like, if we were going to, and this is sacrilege, right? But if someone were going to remake The Exorcist, not a sequel, a remake, or even like another adaptation from the book, I can't think of anyone that I would trust more to take on a dumb project like that than Mike Flanagan. But we haven't really seen him take over a project from someone else once it's already going. Like, he has such a strong creative vision that if they brought him in to pick up where David Gordon Green left off, it's not that I don't think he'd, do a bad job, but I am kind of curious as to how he would be able to to work around someone else's idea of The Exorcist.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I thought about it after I read that. I'm like, man, I don't know what this looks like. Like, I can't even decide whether I think it's a good idea or a bad idea. Because I just don't know. I just don't know what it looks like. And also, I have now started to think of Mike Flanagan more as the guy who makes Netflix limited TV series than makes movies. So
it's weird because the first two Mike Flanagan things I saw were original movies, and I still kind of think of him as like the Stephen King guy.
yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like the new Frank Darabont.
And you know what? Even my favorite Mike Flanagan stuff isn't well, that's not true. Gerald's Game is right up there, but I really, really liked what he did with The Haunting of Hill House.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was just phenomenal, and I liked Midnight Mass. You would think that I would think of him as the limited Netflix original.
Yeah.
What Netflix? When are we getting a physical release of Hush? Also,
never probably. Honestly, Netflix. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that because Netflix lost the rights to it.
yeah.
And he mentioned that he was interested in doing a physical release because right now, as far as I know, you can't watch Hush.
You can't. I've been
At least
trying to
not
show
legally.
it to Mr. Cat's boyfriend.
Yeah, well, don't do that to him.
But no, he's gonna like it. Oh, speaking of things though that I did to Mr. Cat's boyfriend.
Did you cattle prod him?
I did not cattle prod him. I did find the first show though that he was like, I don't think I want to watch the rest of this, and I was like, okay, well, this is not the hill that we're gonna die on, so we're just gonna back up off of this one. And then instead of finishing that show, we watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time.
The original?
The original.
All right. How did first a couple of questions. First of all, what's the show?
Baby Reindeer. He watched the pilot of Baby Reindeer and was like, I am uncomfortable. And I was like, that is fair. It's going to get worse. He's like, if it gets worse, I don't know that I want to do this.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Oh, I highly recommend. It's not horror. Netflix put it in the comedy section, which I feel like needs a really big asterisk. It is a British dark comedy. Emphasis on dark. It's about a man's trauma, and it's kind of like a stalker situation. It's very, very tense, very unsettling, very graphic. I would not call it a comedy, except for that it is in fact based off of the real life events of a comedian who turned them into a comedy special that the show was adapted from. Okay. But it's not horror, but there's some overlap there, I think.
And then the second question is, what did he think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
He really liked Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay. I don't know if that was because we prefaced it with a show that he really did not like,
right.
Or because sometimes that helps. He really, really liked Snakes on a Plane, and it's because we watched Funny Games first. So,
no. And what did he think of Franklin?
I don't know how he felt about Franklin. He was weird. He stuck up for Franklin an awful lot at the end of the movie, but he was complaining a lot about Franklin during the movie.
Okay.
So he did though at the end, and this might be where people start breaking out the cattle prods. He said that Franklin reminded him a lot of Shelley.
No.
Which he did not like. He was not a fan of that.
I'm with Mr. Cat's boyfriend guy, man. The hate that Franklin gets is too much.
No, it's like deserved.
He's annoying, sure, but
he's really
it's not. He's not that bad.
He's awful.
I'm with Miss. He's really. How could I never understood? He's such a small part of the movie. How anyone could go on about it like that is kind of weird to me.
Franklin is the second most annoying person I've ever encountered in my life.
Am I the first, you fuck?
Yes, you are.
You son of a bitch! I knew it.
That's crazy. I thought it was going to be the sex tape guy from Paranormal Activity.
Either way, though, yeah, that good for cattle prods would have came out if he didn't like Texas Chainsaw, though.
I would have been mad.
Nah.
I don't know how we could have
the 2022 version and see what he thinks of that.
Well, I don't want to I don't know if this is gonna get cut or not. We're trying to watch our way through the series because of you know,
Yeah.
upcoming
yeah.
events. So we're going to get
by
to
the way,
2022.
Rob, can you pick I meant to bring that up before. Can you pick a fucking real franchise, please?
You did.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
He chose Twilight.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Screw both you guys.
Why?
Hey, I stuck up for you.
Listen, let's just, for the listeners, we're bringing Murder by Numbers back. We've talked about it already. And so we do 3 franchises. The easiest way to do this was for each of us to pick a franchise. So Mikey picks his, and I'm like, great. And Kat picks hers, and I'm like, great. And then I pick mine, and you guys both throw a fit. Make me pick something else.
You picked Twilight.
That's all right. First of all, it's called the Twilight Saga.
I did not throw a fit. I did a quick one-word wellness check, and then I defended your choice because you're allowed to make terrible mistakes if you want on the show. I believe that.
It's
Kat, we have to watch Twilight.
Fighting vampires. How is that not cool?
Because they sparkle in the woods.
I've already sat through the Twilight movies. I don't have to rewatch them. I know where they fall. This isn't a punishment for me.
Did you end up picking a real one, Rob?
Yeah, I put it in the thing.
What is it?
Scream.
I didn't see that.
I picked Scream.
You picked Scream? I thought...
Yeah. Boring ass pick.
The reason I didn't pick Scream was because you said Scream 7's coming out. We can't pick Scream.
I racked my brain. Everything I thought of has another movie coming out. Alien was my first choice. But
that's a lot of movies.
But literally when we finish with Murder by Numbers, it'll be less than a month and the new Alien movie is going to be out. That seems stupid, like a stupid thing to do. So then I was trying to think of one, and I thought, well, Scream, because Scream 7's coming, but we don't even know when the fuck we're going to get it. So we'll just do it.
Hey, I got Child's Play and Scream in here, so I'm good with that. I'm not mad. All right, hell of a deal. Hey, I didn't see that. All right, yeah, everybody listen, he tried to pick fucking Twilight, man.
Because other reason, I was trying to think, and I'm like, what else could I pick? What am I going to do? Like Wrong Turn? I don't want to watch those fucking movies.
Next
you want to watch Twilight, though?
I've never seen Twilight. It might be great. I don't know. I saw the first movie, actually.
Edward Cullen's Sparkle in the Woods. That's
it was
what
better
wanted.
Before the vampire showed up. I was actually enjoying it until that happened. Like, oh, this kind of sucks.
I'll tell you something. There are not fewer vampires in the sequels, Rob.
Anyway, so yeah, Scream. I picked Scream.
All right, fine.
It'd be fucking boring.
Scream is great. All right, there's less movies I have to watch, so that's nice. All right, yeah. So I guess the last part of news that we can mention is that we have finally nailed down Murder by Numbers, guys. Congratulations to us. So the 3 franchises that we will be talking about, which is obviously news to me, is Child's Play, Scream, and Texas Chainsaw. If you need your rewatches in, get your rewatches in. We'll be ranking them. The first week will be one franchise, the next week will be another, and then the next week will be another after that. And then the final week, the 4th week, is when we rank them all together with Rob's Hillbilly Math.
Yeah.
And we get a master list.
It is not good math, but it's math.
It is the most entertaining math, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We get a master list of all 3 franchises. Rob, is there any way... Because I feel like last year, like there's less movies in these franchises maybe now. Maybe, would you be able to... Do you still have the list from last year anywhere?
There is 0 chance that I have that list.
All right, so if I gave you that list, would you be able to compile it also for fun with that list?
That math I don't know how to do.
Okay.
I mean, I could probably concoct some bullshit math system to try and work it out.
All right, we'll see.
Ultimately, what I would have to have, and this is interesting to no one, I think what I would have to have in order to do that actually is our individual lists for each of the franchises.
Okay.
And yes, there are fewer movies this time around because I think the 3 franchises that we did the last time, the big 3, Halloween, Nightmare, and Friday, are like 3 of the longest running franchises. You know what I mean? So
well, we
they
could
have
have
like
done
the most movies.
Like Puppet Master.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't want to sit through 14 fucking Puppet Master movies.
No.
So yeah. So those are 3 of the longer ones. But we can I can do that if somehow we could get the lists for the individual franchises, which I don't know if that's even possible at this point.
All right, I'll figure it out. Okay, is it time for me to hit my damn button?
Yes, please.
Son of a bitch.
Yay.
Nah.
Get the fuck out of here! You! Yeah, go back to turning tricks and Hoboken, you pain in the ass!
This is the Gabagooli Mystery Corner, where our listeners anonymously send in Italian memes making fun of me for being Italian. There's no hard Italian here. Don't look for it. They're just buttholes. I don't know why they do this. The memes go up on Patreon, and we try our best to explain them on the show. Oh. Why? This one's gross.
Okay, you say this one's gross, but we've got a lot of like medium gross ones and then like one really gross one left. So we've had a couple of good weeks for you in the Gabagooli Mystery Corner. I figured it might be a good time to knock a medium gross one out of the way.
You know, we don't have to do the gross ones at all. They could just be religious. We don't have to have all that. There should be standards.
Well, counterpoint, I want to see the really gross one now.
Okay,
I don't know.
There's always next week.
There's probably a foot in it. I don't want to see it.
Ding, ding, ding.
God damn it. See, Rob, his feet. Son of a bitch. The meme is captioned Italian toothpaste, and it's a toothbrush with some weird, gross, brown looking shit on it. And next to it is a bottle of what's supposed to be toothpaste, and it says roasted garlic. I don't know. Is the roasted garlic stir in? Stir in? Why would you stir in toothpaste? I don't know. It's roasted garlic toothpaste and it's gross. There. God damn it. Why?
I didn't know that's what you use, Mikey. That's interesting.
I do not use that.
Learning about your culture. That's nice.
Oh, speaking of the Patreon, by the way, I got excited because I remembered something, and I'm immediately mad. Unfortunately, I have to welcome a new patron on.
Oh.
Yeah. Kate has joined the Patreon.
Oh, Kate. Welcome to the Patreon.
Welcome.
Kate. Yeah. When does Kate get to be a guest on the show?
Never. Not fucking ever. Never, ever. Ever in the history of ever, never.
Maybe we could have her and Aggie on the same show.
Oh, yeah, that'll go great for me, Rob. You're full of good ideas, huh? Yeah, that'll go wonderful. Kate has joined the Patreon. I do appreciate you supporting the show, Kate. Thank you for doing that,
Kate.
at least.
We love Kate. She's the best.
No, we don't. Kate is now a member of the fucking tier 2.
Woo.
So Kate is supporting the show, and we do appreciate that from Kate. Kate, though, is a huge, massive pain in the ass, and I don't enjoy that I'm going to have to deal with her on any more than I already had to. So this is a problem for me.
I enjoy that to no end.
Apparently you played Dead by Daylight with Kate recently on her stream, Rob.
Yeah, I play with Kate sometimes. We have fun.
God. The thought of playing Dead by Daylight with you and Kate at the same time is just like, it sounds like hell.
One night it was me, Kate, and Aggie.
Oh, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad I missed that. But yeah, nonetheless, thank you for supporting the show, Kate, even though you're a huge, massive pain in the ass.
That's no way to speak to patrons. We just
That's
rank
right.
them.
You have got to be more polite and cordial with the patrons, Mikey.
When the patrons aren't cordial and polite to me, it's difficult for me to reciprocate something that's not already existing, though, Mr. Humphrey, is the issue here.
You got to grin and bear it, sir.
What do you grin and bear with Tasha and poor Leah?
That's different.
Son of a bitch. All right. That's it for this crap. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with, holy shit, what are we talking about? Ringu. Okay, I do have a list of movies because Rob doesn't know how to work the Patreon.
That is correct.
Yes. So we will go over everything that did not make it this month. Then we will get into the winner, which was obviously by the title of this episode, Ringu. First one up, and this is a tragedy. first one up is Will. I haven't changed the button yet, Will. My bad.
Thrill me.
But the first one up is Will the Thrill, and he put up Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I know that we're about to head into an event. I do think, because this was a tragedy, and I'm in no small part the reason for this tragedy, I move that when we have the chance to go back to picking our own movies, I think we should watch this one.
Well, yeah, you are in no small part. You are the reason, Kat.
Well, no, comedy is committing to the bit is not a crime on this show.
I appreciate you committing to the bit. I'm not saying you did the wrong thing. I'm just saying you're the one who did the thing. My response was, I don't care. You two work it out.
Well, see, the thing is, it's really not Kat's fault, because at the end of the day, Ringu ended up pulling ahead anyway. For our listeners that aren't members of the Patreon, the process is the Omen, where the patrons put up, they nominate movies to be voted on for by themselves. Only the patrons get to vote. So they nominate movies and then they vote on movies, which is the next step. So there was a tie going. First of all, Killer Clowns from Outer Space in this voting process was dominating.
Yeah, it pulled ahead like really early.
To the point that Mikey called it. And so I was prepared to watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, Mikey called it, and I actually picked up a copy of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
And that's why Kat wants to do it soon. But no, and rightfully so. Like, we've never seen any movie come back from that type of a margin difference that early, right? So I didn't even check it again. I was just like, whatever. And then Allie was the one who said to me, "Oh, you guys got a tie." And I was like, what? So I went and looked, and I was like, holy shit, we do. Like, how the hell did that comeback happen? And Ringu pulled it to a tie. But then Ringu, we talked about it, and we picked Ringu over Killer Clowns because it was a tie. Will, that was not my fault. You can blame Kat for that.
Well, that one was my fault.
Ringu did end up winning. So there really was no turmoil with this one.
I think people were excited because that Killer Clowns game is getting ready to come out.
There you go. That's
another
why
reason why I do kind of feel like it wouldn't be a bad idea to cover it soon.
Right.
But I do just want to give a round of applause to the patrons, because we have so many opportunities on the show for patrons to do something hilarious, and they did it. They finally did the funniest option on the list. And thank you to EyeRChris. We're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but who was very vocal about this pick and why. Like, I think people always kind of campaign for, picks that they feel passionately about for this. We have very active listeners on Twitter. But EyeRChris was out there reminding people of the bit and why this is such a funny choice for tonight. So
now, did Chris nominate Ringu?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
All right. Well, I got to know that kind of stuff. It's going to factor into rankings and that sort of thing.
All right, we'll get to that when we get
congratulations, you guys. You finally did the thing.
You did.
You've missed a lot of them.
Fairly recently talked about how, the bit has been screwed up by people voting for the wrong thing, but you finally got it right. So good job.
And I am glad that they pulled ahead. I'm glad that I wasn't like a tiebreaker on this one, even though I was prepared to break the tie, because I want the patrons to have gotten it right after what's been kind of a rocky relationship with the patron voting this year so far. So I'm proud of you guys. Good job. Good job.
Are you proud of them as well, Mikey?
I'll get to it shortly. But yeah, Killer Clowns, by the time this episode comes out, anyone who pre-ordered the new Killer Clowns game, it is available to be played right now. It does release fully next week on Tuesday, the 4th of June. So make sure you get on there, because that looks like a lot of fun. But yeah, that was why Will wanted to get it in now. So I do feel a little bad that it wasn't. And then, dude, Will, it looked like I think I even said to someone, I think he was playing with Allie on stream, and I was like, tell Will Killer Clowns won. Dude, I thought it was over. I wish I watched Killer Clowns.
I bought a copy of Killer Clowns, is how sure I was that it was over.
Yeah. So this one's not on us, man. You get mad at Chris. But the other movies that did not make it were, where the hell did that go? Nate put up John Carpenter's Vampires from 1998.
Okay. That's a solid
movie.
pick. Not a bad movie.
Not mad.
Nate always has solid picks.
Yeah.
Tasha, the Potato Thief, Funny Games remake. And she captioned it. She captioned it with, because I'll get Rob to watch this movie eventually. Damn it.
Damn it, Tasha.
The next up that did not make it was Nesto, and he did not put up the Killer Tree movie, but he did put up Alive from 2018. I feel like he's put this up before.
Alive? The hell's that?
Never seen it.
No.
Just looks familiar.
That's the one that I kept thinking I had seen, but I was thinking about a different movie.
Were you thinking of Hashtag Alive?
I was thinking about Hashtag Alive.
Yeah. No, I don't know what the fuck this is.
So I do know that this is one that's come up before, because even when you said it right now, I was like, I feel like that's a zombie, but no, it's not. It's different.
It sounds kind of interesting. Like, it doesn't sound terrible. Doesn't mean it's not terrible, but it doesn't sound terrible.
Guarantee it's not as bad as the Killing Tree movie. I can tell you that.
Well, you wouldn't know that because you haven't watched The Killing Tree.
No, I haven't. Trying to keep it that way as long as possible, but I feel like Nesto has a big old turd in my punch bowl for that one. The next one up, though, is from Darth Gregor, and it is Tokyo Gore Police.
Yeah.
Damn it,
That's the
Greg.
name of the movie.
Huge clown penis.
I've never seen this movie. I don't want to watch that. It looks bad.
It does look bad.
It's awesome. It's great.
Does that put in any hope that Kat likes it, Rob?
No.
Wow. Wow. When would I ever have a hot take that I share with Greg?
That doesn't mean it's no.
And Amber put up Amber puts up Parents from 1989. Good year.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
I haven't seen that either. Amber likes it. I have hopes that it's good though.
Yeah. She also likes Orca.
Yeah. Why are you always trying to get me in trouble with Amber, man? You know what I'm going to say, and like you know how she's going to react. Why would you do that to either one of us? Now, Amber, he's trying to tear us apart, man. That's fucked up. The last pick that did not make it though is from Leah, Rob, and the name of the movie. It's a 2023 film, and it's called "Don't Suck."
Oh,
which
that's
I
perfect for
saw
Leah.
that on the list, and it's like, I really hope Leah's the one that nominated that. That is so funny.
She did.
I feel like that's the advice that I gave to Leah when she joined the Patreon. She didn't live up to it, which is sad.
He
But
absolutely did. He is amazing.
yeah, I don't know anything about this movie, but maybe it's good.
Maybe.
Yeah. Is it like a vampire movie? I wonder.
I have no clue. Let me look it up real quick. I thought that was at Leah. You are hysterical. That is perfect.
I will admit, I am loath to pay Leah a compliment, but that is pretty funny.
That's good.
Yeah, it's well done, Leah.
Also, this sounds terrible.
A veteran comedian's last chance at stardom takes him down a road with a young comic who reveals an unexpected past. Yeah, it's a vampire movie.
All right.
Yeah. But for like, even if this movie sucks, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of looks like it might. Is that Jamie Kennedy? Good Lord. I can't even get mad because like how perfect it is. Oh God, Carrot Top's in it, Rob.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a quality picture right there.
Is that Billy Ray Cyrus? What the fuck, Leah?
What are you talking about? Are you making this up, Mikey?
No, I swear to God.
Are you?
I don't know. It says, oh, okay, hold on, wait. I think his name is Brian Gross. Okay, yeah, okay. There's a character, Billy Ray, and like his little thumbnail thing, it kind of looked like Billy Ray Cyrus. And I was like, what the fuck? So, no, not Billy Ray Cyrus, though. But either way, this is kind of out there, but it's perfect, though. Like, even if it sucked, we couldn't even get mad at Leah for making us watch it because it's just so on brand.
Yeah, it really is. But sorry, Leah, didn't win.
It didn't. But the one that did win, the pick that reigns supreme this month is from EyeRChris.
Hell of a deal.
Hell of a deal. And it's Ringu, 1998. The bit stuff that Kat and Rob were talking about earlier is from the Cult FM debacle with the Ring episode that is coming, I swear to God. But look, this one isn't as funny to me because like if he would have made us talk about the Ring I probably would have been a little annoyed. But I mean, Ringu, like, I wish I would have just got to watch Ringu. Like, I'm not even mad about watching Ringu. Like, I like Ringu.
I will say, because it was Chris's idea, I was campaigning really hard, and I feel like this is the second month that I've done this, where I've tried really hard to convince the patrons that they want to vote for, that they want to nominate and then vote for The Ring, because I thought it would be so funny if we covered The Ring on Slasher Radio before you guys got to it on Cult FM.
It would have been funny in that respect, but Mikey probably wouldn't have had to rewatch it because he watched The Ring so recently. That's why I think Ringu is the proper pick.
Yeah, EyeRChris pointed that out on Twitter.
It's true.
When he was pointing all this out, that this would be funnier, because like we still kind of win that race, but it's the second movie that Mikey has to watch, and it has subtitles, which is always a bonus on this show.
Yeah, you did watch it with the subtitles, right, Mikey?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Greg commented on this with a bunch of laughing emojis and said, "Now I really hope this does win." And Chris replied with, "You and Amber should also say Ringu, let the chaos reign." God damn. But see, like, look, I respect it. It is kind of funny. But, I mean, if anything, this just, like, I'm going to compare a lot of stuff having just watched the fucking Ring. Like, I'm not mad about watching Ringu. Like, I do like Ringu. It's not one of my favorite movies of all time or nothing, but having had just watched The Ring, like if I just had to watch Ringu face value, I might have been slightly annoyed, but having watched The Ring, this is kind of a relief having to watch this. So I'm not even that mad.
And I want to throw this out here too. I'm going to try not to let this affect my score too much, but I'm glad that we're talking about Ringu specifically over The Ring, because even though I really like The Ring and it was a lot more influential to my horror experience, it being kind of the cultural phenomena that it was over here in the States, I actually am much more interested in this link in between because this is the one that adapts the book. Like the American Ring, the 2002 Ring, is just an adaptation of this film, whereas this film adapted like one of my all-time favorite horror novels, which and they fucked it up a little bit, which I think is interesting because it's like it's a very good movie, but they did kind of miss the point of the book also. But it's hard to be mad about that when you talk about the 2002 Ring, because no one in America even knew that was a book, I don't think.
Yeah, I had no fucking idea until probably about 2 years ago. I don't know, recently. So I know nothing about the book. Rob, I'm assuming you also.
I know nothing.
All right.
No.
At least I'm not the only one. Fair. Yeah, so look, this is going to be a lot of me comparing the damn Ring to this, because I just watched both of them, thanks to you guys. But dude, this is so much better than The Ring to me. And I know far be it for me to put a foreign movie over any type of American movie for the sake that I don't have to read it alone. It's rare. But if before watching, that's not true. I don't know, man. I normally prefer the American films over just out of pure taste and what I'm used to, like that's probably on me, but that's the way it is nonetheless. But yeah, I like Ringu better than The Ring, especially just having watched The Ring. The Ring is way too fucking long, and it's just a lot of boring shit in between. And honestly, rewatching Ringu, I've never watched The Ring and Ringu so close to each other before, and having done that now, I think the most glaring thing that makes me like Ringu over The Ring is that they at least tried to get some shit done to resolve this. They went into a fucking well and everything else, and they really tried to get to the root of the issue to get rid of this shit once and for all. With The Ring, they just kind of assumed what would fix everything and just went with it and hoped it would work in the fucking end. And none of it really made sense what they were trying to do in The Ring, as opposed to Ringu, like, you're living in a world where there's some chick in a fucking well who's coming out of TVs to kill you. So, you got to stick with it a little bit and live in the universe. But at least what they were trying to do in Ringu made sense to fixing the problem. I feel like The Ring didn't quite accomplish that. So I like the movie. It hit a lot of for Japanese horror in 1998. I feel like it was a little bit ahead of its time. And dude, I'm here for it. What
I
about
do
you
think
guys?
it was ahead of its time. Most of my comparisons, like as we go through and talk about plot points for this, are going to be to the book. But just because you did mention The Ring and liking it better or worse, for a long time, and I haven't watched The Ring in kind of a while, the 2002
yeah.
Ring. I remember it being kind of the exception to the rule of American remakes being better. I remember doubling down on that opinion like a few years ago when I read the book for the first time, because I was kind of mad. I had always assumed that the American version had screwed the story up somewhere along the way, and then reading the book and watching the movie back to back, it was like, no, the Japanese movie screwed it up along the way. Like, that's where the missing link is in between these two. I came away at Ringu kind of mad at the time. Having some distance for that and appreciating it as a film and not just like an adaptation of a pre-existing story. I actually do like this one a lot better. There are a couple things that I think we improved upon in the American one, but overall, this one isn't even a full 90 minutes. I was going to call it a tight 90-minute movie, but I think it's just a little bit shorter than that even. It's tighter storytelling, which makes it feel more, like you said, you feel that time crunch more, I think. Like you feel like they're actively working on it. It incorporates the sort of urban legend mechanic that I thought was really interesting, that was lost a little bit in the American one. And I really, really appreciated that and this is such a small detail, but like when they're down in the well, I loved that they just let the Sadako's bones be gross, like that was the one big Americanism that we had in the remake of this, was that like, it fades to bones or whatever, but like when she scoops up Samara, there's this whole thing where like she looks like a little girl that hasn't been decaying at all, and then it's supposed to be like a twist that she's just bones, and it's like, no, she's been down here a long time. Like she should have just. But I love that it just felt like such a poignant moment in this movie, where she's like, there's just like this really gross, like gooey well corpse, down there, that the woman like still picks up and has empathy for. That felt really beautiful in this version.
I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. This movie goddamn sucks. This was fucking boring. It was like The Ring that I had to read. I haven't seen The Ring in quite a while, although I do know that it's terrible also, because the last time I watched it, I hated it. This is the first time I've watched this, and I hated every second of it. It should have been called Research the Movie. It's fucking boring. Nothing really ever seems to happen. The acting is bad. The score is the most overdramatic piece of shit I've ever heard. This is a terrible movie.
I do want to toss that out there though. And this is harsh because I do feel this way about a lot of J horror. We had a better score in the remake. That's one of the Point America things, is that the score in this was not fantastic.
It is so bad. It is the most overdramatic score I've ever. It's garbage.
I don't think it's the worst score. I'd argue it's not even the worst score in a J horror movie, but it's not good.
So
it's not good.
Those are my thoughts. I don't have a lot of notes on this movie. It was really frustrating trying to watch it, because when a movie sucks, I tend to pick up my phone. And it's not usually a big deal because I can, just listen to the movie as it's going. But I couldn't do that with this one. So I kept having to back up and rewatch shit. It took me, this is less than 90 minutes. It took me all day to watch this fucking movie today, because I kept pausing it to do literally anything else and then coming back to it. At one point, I paused it to do dishes. I hate doing dishes. But I wanted to not be watching this movie for a little bit. It was awful.
That's what.
That's
Better
rough.
or worse than The Ring?
Worse.
Really?
I do not like The Ring. It's not a good movie. This one was worse. The Ring at least had Naomi Watts, who I could look at, and I didn't have to read it, and the score was better. And honestly, the performances were better. I think the performances are better in The Ring than they are in this movie. I also think that the performances in this were over the top and melodramatic. The Ring at least had capable actors. Naomi Watts, Brian Cox is in it. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. This movie is not good.
Can I just throw another point out there for the American Ring also? Like, while we're kind of tallying these up, and we've already talked about the score, but the tape itself, like the visuals on this tape were a lot more accurate to the visuals in the tape described in the book. But the American one, I feel like captured that vibe a lot better. Like you feel uncomfortable watching that tape, whereas this one, you're just kind of confused. I was confused.
This was not even like all that creepy. It's just like, what? Like,
I thought it was.
I don't think it's creepy at all. It's just kind of stupid.
Well,
and I think part of it is the score. Like we have that very unsettling sound in the American one, you know?
Yeah. I mean, see, I thought like that is something that I noticed, that I thought it was it was maybe not creepier. Creepier might be the wrong word to use. But I don't know, man. It was just something that was, because like, look, I mean, nothing in this was unsettling to me. Nothing in this creeped me out in the American nor this film. But I don't know. I just felt like there was just a little bit of tang to that, to the tapes on here that was better than the American remake.
You're wrong.
I do think that they fit the story a little bit better. Like, which it makes sense because these are the visuals that were described as being on the tape in the book, which was a lot more story based. They tied in a lot better. I think if not that either of you are going to want to do this, but if you sit down and analyze, like the plot of this film, I think there's a coherence in this tape that the American one doesn't have. But just on aesthetic and vibes alone, I think that was one of the improvements that we made.
Yeah, and another thing that I noticed too, and it kind of goes to what Kat was saying earlier a little bit about the bones being gross and all that stuff. I feel like they did a better job, maybe not better job, but they had less to work with. The budgets and all those things, and even just the time the film's being made. Ringu had to work with a lot less than the remake had. And the remake had a huge budget, so like it might not be really fair to compare whatever, but at the same time, man, like this is or at least the American remake made it a very high budget style movie with the bodies looking all fucking weird and, bent and decrepit and everything. The remake had a big advantage with that in the fact that they were able to utilize effects, and they had a lot more money for effects to make these things actually look like they had some sort of, like real issue with them,
Yeah.
And now with something like this, it's more so it's just people laying there with a little bit of powder on their face to make them look paler,
Yeah.
And that's really all they had.
One of the things I've always laughed about in The Ring is how when they showed the faces of the people who died, I always thought they looked stupid. I never found them scary. They actually managed to look stupider in this movie.
Well, because they didn't have much to work with.
And they don't really show them. They cut to like black and white and bullshit when they're showing them when she crawls out of the TV. It looked comically bad in this movie.
Didn't look great.
I mean,
I can't really defend that.
It looks comically bad. It's just so stupid. This whole movie sucked.
Yeah, but in 1998, man, they had a hell of a concept they were trying their damnedest to put through, and Like that was hard, man. They weren't trying to do something simple. This wasn't a slasher movie, you know?
I do have another point original film here, and Mikey can correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I am working off of like old memory of The Ring of the 2002 one. You've just seen them though. I really liked that Ryuji, that the dad character. I liked that he had the psychic connection in this one, which I don't remember them including in the I don't remember them including that in the American one. That he also was like psychically sensitive.
I feel like they replaced that with the kid in the remake, right?
That's kind of what I
kinda-
remember. Like he could see ghosts just normally.
Right.
I also didn't remember any sort of psychic thing in the remake, although it's been a long time, so I could be wrong about that. So when it popped up in this movie, I thought, oh, that's real dumb.
But it's not real dumb, because that's the same kind of psychic sensitivity that Sadako had that made her like ostracized.
Yeah, no, it's real dumb. I don't like it.
Wow. I mean, that other than the kid being, that I don't, again, this was now a couple of weeks since I've seen The Ring. I wasn't thrilled about having to watch The Ring, so wasn't having a great time watching The Ring, so I don't remember it perfectly. But yeah, he wasn't able to he was having dreams and thoughts and visions, but he wasn't able like really to fully see ghosts or anything like that. So,
okay.
Yeah, but again, Kat would be able to talk more to if that's the story that they're basing it off of, then who are we to say, like, we can't watch the American Ring and tell them that's wrong.
Right.
We might not like it. That's fine. But
I can tell them it's dumb.
That you can do 100%.
I do want to, I want to get this out of the way, like kind of early. I have one massive complaint about The Ring, about Ringu.
Okay.
Because this is supposed to be an adaptation, and I understand that sometimes you just are worried about how marketable a story is, and it makes, I can understand like all of the thought processes that went behind this, where it's like, this is a book about technology. It's, it makes sense that this should be a movie. It'll be scarier as a movie. We want the masses to see this. We need to make it more marketable for like a wider audience. I get it. But unfortunately, I really hated that this is kind of, I don't want to call it a love story, but there is this like reconnection aspect. There's this tension between our main character and, this person that she's estranged to now. And it really frustrates me because this was my favorite aspect of the book. And they really changed it. It's two men in the book. They are estranged college friends and reluctant acquaintances. And Ryuji in that one is just like one of the scariest characters ever written. A lot of the fear in the book comes from the forced proximity that he has to this person that he really doesn't trust around his family, like as he is trying to save his family from this tape, which I just like, I thought that was such a fascinating dynamic because there are all of these extra sources of tension, so for them to just randomly be like, this guy is going to be a woman and they're going to like and then we're going to let this man comfort her, it's like, that bothered me a lot. And even going in knowing that was the case and I was going to be mad about it, I was watching and I was really mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, not knowing, having not read the book, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me. Had I read the book and whatever, then yeah, I would have thought that was fucking weird. But
Because
since I didn't
just,
know that until just this moment, it didn't bother me during the movie.
it was very, very frightening because Ryuji just as a character, like you never knew he was just so scary because you see all of these like different, you hear all of these different rumors about like what sort of things he's done. And he's confessed to some of them, and then like when those confessions start to be like called into question, it really is this kind of like, and he's not the narrator, but it does kind of play on that unreliable character sort of trope. And he's the person that's going to solve all of this. And it's like, how much can you trust him? You know, like he has the brain to do it, but what are his motivations here? You know, and there's this one really unsettling scene too, where Asakawa comes home and he's like, because they've been working on this together, and he's been calling Ryuji and he can't like get a hold of him, and he's like, we're running out of time, you know, I've got like 1 day left. And he comes home to find this man that he thinks has done like all of these really terrible things alone in his apartment with his wife and child. And his wife is like, you can't have him over here anymore. And you just like, you don't know what he's done. And it's just like having to put his faith in this kind of person, all while still trying to figure out like whether or not this tape curse is even real. You know, like it's the kind of subtle nuance that is very present in Japanese fiction, but not in Japanese films. And it kind of sucks.
If you're gonna make a film, you gotta have a love story, Kat.
Well, I apparently
gotta be a love interest.
And also, Ryuji had kind of like an on again, off again implied romance with like his assistant, who I was really surprised to see was still a character in the movie, who just did not do anything. Like we're supposed to like feel bad when we see her like all almost scared to death over his passing at the end, and it's like,
oh, that was his assistant. I didn't even know who the fuck that was.
I know, it's like, has she been introduced even?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know who the fuck she was. I was like, all right, I guess that's some woman. I don't know.
Some woman.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like they didn't take the time to really flesh out these relationships, and it does make certain, and like the thing with the psychic sensitivity, that was a huge theme in the book, because it's all of that rage in Sadako that builds up, you know? Like she's ostracized for having these psychic powers and for having like these medical anomalies. They wrote all, which again, for a movie to make it more palatable, I kind of understand, but she had like all of these medical anomalies that she was like in and out of institutions for, even before they found out that she also had like psychic powers and was able to burn what she saw onto film telekinetically. But that's stuff that just kind of like in the movie, I feel like it was almost kind of half-assed, you know, because they're like picking up these research clues, but you're not really seeing the connections there, you know?
Yeah, they could have cut all that psychic bullshit, maybe explain some stuff better about relationships and who these people were. I don't know. The psychic things was stupid.
But it's why she's angry. Like it's why she's angry. It's why she's able to make the tape.
Right. I mean, I guess that's okay. I guess I'm still focused on the other guy. I don't know a single person in this movie's name, but the guy who's psychic for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
That was so stupid. And I don't know. Comparing this to The Ring, I will give this 1 point over The Ring, and that is this one is not fucking green.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. See, the thing with this is it's hard because this is a movie that had a 1.8 Ringu had a $1.8 million budget. I think 1.5 to 1.2, whatever. The Ring had a $48 million budget and was made however many years later with advancements of technology and everything. And, you know, we're later. Americans, so we're more prone to an American style film for the most part, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, the American Ring has a lot of advantages. Like, it's foolish to act like that it doesn't.
It costs a lot of money to turn a movie green.
God damn it. But I feel like Ringu is so important because even though it didn't come up with the concept, like obviously it's from a book, but man, they have balls trying to translate that, man, in 1998. And it's hard. Like I said, it's not like they're making a straight slasher film where, you know, you can get away with a lot of different shit and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. There's no way around these effects costing you a lot of money. You know, that's it. That is what it is. So, there's a lot of stuff that we look at and we look at the effects and we kind of give them a pass and whatever else. I feel like this is just one of them for me, like it truly just is. And I don't know, there was a little bit of, I don't know if I want to use the term charm to it, but like to me, it kind of was, because like you got some more, and I feel like the American film does such a great job of that. And maybe that's why I like Ringu as much as I do, because that American film is what introduced it to me. And I can kind of, it helps my imagination a little bit with getting there, because I already, like, I know what she looks like coming through the TV and when it looks great. Like that
Dude,
stuff
that
doesn't.
effect of her coming through the TV, they would have been better off just pulling a Velocipaster and putting a thing on the screen that said effect not inserted here. It looks like trash.
Okay. It was bad. It was not
horrible.
that bad.
It's fucking
It wasn't.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it looks bad. But again, it helps my imagination, maybe is the term, with getting there, because I already know what it looks like when it's perfect. Because I've seen The Ring and I've seen it first, and I know what it, what all that looks like already. But this is low budget, and it kind of, it's secondary to me, even though it came out first, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't help me with my watch. I still hated it, but I could see how maybe.
I don't know how you could hate it, man.
This movie, I honestly, I haven't watched The Ring, like I said, in a long time, but I feel like I would probably give it a higher score than this movie.
I wouldn't. And
because
that's
to
maybe
they feel like the same movie to me, just one isn't as good. Like
one is also a half hour plus shorter.
This is just a worse version of the same movie.
Honestly, my thoughts of it might be pure runtime, honestly. And the amount of shit that I seen that, like the amount of time that I spent watching a pen wiggle in the American one, it was just absurd.
I mean, look, that might be true. Like if I watch The Ring, I might not like it as much as this, because I will say the thing that bothered me about this movie, I know also did great on me when I rewatched The Ring, which is there's just too much nonsense that I don't give a fuck about. Too much research and all that. I don't care. It's boring. Yeah. Find another way to give me that information that isn't dull as hell. So yeah, getting an extra half hour of that I would not like probably, but I just suffered through this movie so bad. And I was so mad that I wasn't watching Killer Clowns.
Me too. Yeah. And that crossed my mind a couple times. Don't think it didn't. I was like, fuck, man. Could have been watching Killer Clowns, huh? Great, I love that movie. Like, God damn it. I'm madder about this than Will. Not one cotton candy or popcorn gun anywhere, or a fucking balloon animal dog going yip, yip, yip. Nothing. None of it. Like, God damn it. But yeah, man, again, having just watched The Ring, I think helps me out a lot more with Ringu. I feel like I liked The Ring better before this. The Ring. I liked The Ring better before the rewatch, and I always thought it was just mid, but I'm on the side of bad, and it might purely be runtime, because dude, if you really get to the nuts and bolts of this thing, some fucking haunted chick who's been cursed and whatever coming out of a TV and killing the shit out of people, if you pack that in an hour and a half, an hour and 40, you got a pretty good movie on your hands. Like the Ring, like why did it have to be so fucking long?
I also want to throw this out there real quick. I think this is going to be my last really long book rant that I go on. The origin of the tape is so much more fascinating in the it's so much crazier in the book, because it's like it's a perfect storm of just random things that kind of create this tape, where this person who is Sadako in the book is intersex, which I don't think that would have flown with movie audiences in Japan in 98. And honestly, I don't think it would have fly well with American audiences today. Like, so I understand, but Sadako was intersex, and there was this whole thing about whether or not like that sort of gene anomaly could have made her hypothetically self-replicate, which comes into this thing with like the smallpox virus that she's infected with when she is murdered. And then that with her psychic powers creates just like the craziest like tape of all time, which I it's a lot to try and condense down. It I think landed a lot better over a book where you have that time to kind of gradually introduce all of these elements and, you know, while you have people that are peeling back the mystery. But it's something that I think, because like in the book, they spend so much time learning about Sadako and who she is and how this tape got to be, you know, what it is, that it made the research feel a lot more palatable, because like we're peeling back, we're getting these clues, there's information constantly being introduced to the reader, whereas like adapting that into a movie where we're watching people research stuff, you know, like and especially when we don't get to find out the nuances of like what these things are. There aren't that many pieces to the mystery. It's just kind of a cursed tape from a dead psychic girl, you know, like we don't have all of these things that kind of pull us along. And I think that was it was a rough transition. And it made the end fall a lot more flat, I think, because we don't fully understand, you know, it's one of those, you can make a copy of it and show it to someone else and then you're going to be okay. But they don't really like hit that point where it's like, this will actually be the full destruction of the human race unless we destroy the tape before anybody else sees it, you know? Because in the book, that's the thing. It's like, this is a plague for the era of technology. And if we let it loose, we're gonna die. And Asakawa is kind of like, I'm willing to do that for my family. But in this one, it's more like, I'm willing to kill my grandparents for my son. Like,
yeah, dude, but even the like, I felt like they didn't even hit home in this movie the idea that if you make a copy and pass it on to somebody, you'll be okay. Like they kind of hinted at it towards the end, but had I not seen The Ring, where they actually just say it out loud because we're Americans and we don't, you know, we need somebody to tell us exactly what's happening. I don't know that I would have been able to piece it together from the end, because she just sort of, you know, realizes it. And they don't really spell it out for you, which I thought was kind of weird. I also think the idea of it being a plague, they hit much better in Rings.
Maybe I don't like to give credit to Rings, but that is more plague-like, you know, it's because it's spreading. We get to see the effects of it spreading. And that's one thing that I feel like the movies, and this one in particular, really, like, they just didn't hammer that point home, where it's like, it's not just that you're willing to sacrifice one other person, it's that replicating it is going to exponentially kill more and more humans that are trying to save themselves until we wipe ourselves out, you know, like.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the whole It Follows thing. I mean, granted, the Ring thing was before, so I guess It Follows thing, vice versa. But still, the point is, you know, like that it's an interesting concept that you have to like sacrifice your own, you know, like it's just a very dark concept when you think about it. Man, all we need from a Ring movie is a story of not even explanation. Like, we don't need explanation of these things, you know, we just truly don't. All we need is maybe flashbacks of how the tape or Samara, Sadako, whichever you're going with, got to the point that they're at, where they're cursed and all that shit. And then you can move more towards what's happening with the tape in the story and all that shit. But the research is just something that's not necessary. It's just not, it's hard to translate, especially in a paranormal movie.
I was going to say, it just doesn't translate well to screen. There's no way to show that that's going to be that interesting.
It's impossible, man. It's impossible. So I don't know. And it's weird that none of the movies have tried that. Like, it's really bizarre.
Yeah.
So I don't fucking know, but it is frustrating. That is what we keep fucking getting is research movies on such a cool concept. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, but just boring. None of the movies in this franchise have been good, right? Like none of them.
I like
thought
this
the
one.
Ring was good, man. I don't mind Ringu. It's the concept that really gets me in, though. Honestly, like I do love the concept of the Ring so much.
I'm in a weird position with this because I used to really like this movie. And now that I see like how much wasted potential there was,
Yeah.
reading the book made me like this movie a lot less. And it's very hard for me to I'm kind of like evening out with that now where it's like I can appreciate the movie again, but they did waste a lot of potential in all of the Ringu movies and in all of the American Ring movies. And Rings is one of the worst movies I've maybe ever seen. Like it's bad.
They wasted potential and a lot of my time.
I don't know, man. Maybe I do think that the Ring helped me appreciate Ringu more. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. Like that might have something to do with it. I'm not sure. But either way. Do you guys have anything that we didn't hit on this?
No, maybe I should have watched The Ring before I watched this, and then I would have appreciated it more because this sucked.
I think if I could remake cause we talk about this a lot where it's like we see horror classics constantly being remade and like brought back into the public eye. And, you know, we talk about how you don't need to remake the really good movies. You need to remake the movies that kind of missed. The Ring, I think, is the like perfect thing to be remade because it's like it had a cultural impact. I think people would show up to give it another shot. But they did miss. Like just take this concept, try again.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising no one has remade it, right? Like
yeah.
It really is because it is the movie like it's got, you know, there's a name value to it. People for whatever reason, having not watched the movie in a long time or whatever, remember The Ring as being really good.
If I could remake any movie, I think it would be The Ring. Like we're so close.
Me too, honestly. Like it's I love the concept. I truly do. But fuck.
Well, somebody will get around to remaking it eventually, and I can't wait to not watch it.
It really frustrates me because at least this one, they changed a lot of stuff. In this one, they changed just a terrible amount of things. But Ringu 2 also takes a very different and more boring trajectory than the book series does. The book series eventually sees Sadako coming out of she basically like reincarnates to like walk around and torment people as a more of a physical presence with her psychic powers. And it's like I honestly am surprised that we never got like a Japanese slasher equivalent, like where she is a villain. You know, where she's like an active antagonist in things.
So they just got Sudoku walking around and shit?
Honestly, kind of, yeah. And she's like, there's just a bunch of like weird stuff going on there. And it's like, I would have loved to see, I think Sadako, she could have had her own franchise. And it sucks that she didn't.
I'm with that too, man. I really do I love the concept. And the fact that it gets wasted with just boring fucking movies. Like, I'm just come out and say it. They're boring fucking movies. I don't know what to do with that, man. Like, this isn't what I came here for. I didn't come to see the research on the fucking tape. I came to see this chick hop out of TVs and kill the shit out of people in cool ways. Yeah. That's it. And be creepy. I don't know. But we're saying all this, but Grandma Bones, the movie that scared her the most was The Ring. So.
Well, really?
Yeah, and she avid Stephen King fan, loves like hard novel reading and movies and even horror TV shows. They're all her thing, and for decades, like before I was even born. That's where I got it from, and The Ring is the one that did it to her the most, man.
Wow, all right,
go figure. I don't know.
It's crazy because I do feel that way about the book, and unless this. But I see like the concept is there. And a lot of people, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, had that fear of technology, like it was this new all-consuming presence that people were having to get very comfortable with very quickly. It was such a good time for something like this to be done. It may be a little bit better.
Yeah, and we didn't heed that fear. Now look where we are. AI is here and it's going to kill us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it gave us that balls thing
It did.
talking about.
It did.
Yeah.
We'll be laughing when we go, though.
That song is fucking amazing.
All right, you guys ready for reviews and facts and stuff?
Yeah.
All right.
So after the conversation that we just had about this, I don't know how you guys are going to respond to the ratings of this movie. This is certified fresh with 98% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Get the fuck out of here.
It has an 81% audience score.
Good
IMDb,
Lord, man.
I feel like it is maybe a little bit more reasonable at this. They have it at a 7.2 out of 10.
Again, though, that's high for IMDb because those normally hover right around between a 5 and a 6 somewhere.
Yeah, it's well appreciated by IMDb users, not apparently by Rotten.
Apparently, they don't care if acting is good or not.
Yeah, that's I'm the most nice to this out of all of us. This movie, I think, and god damn, that's fucking high, bro.
Okay, so this first one, I was not going to read the whole review, but it does get progressively weirder. I originally just took this as kind of like my best review title award that I've been giving out.
Right.
But I also had to pull just like a couple excerpts from it because it's so bizarre. This is rated 8 out of 10. This actually happened to my friend Glenda, etc.
Oh, no. God damn, here we go. This one's gonna be good.
Well, that's okay. So director Hideo Nakata is using tropes of curses, and this will happen in X days, and so forth. But he marks this as unique by the film's ruthlessness, at least in its complete visually distinctive look and creepy creativity. How does one describe the visions on the VHS tape that we see? Maybe like a half-eaten dream from David Lynch or that Begotten film, but filtered back into Japan and transformed into the stuff that you really should leave in the bottom of a well.
That explains why I didn't like it. All of that sounds terrible. None of it appeals to me.
Which I just want to point out, this is like an 8 out of 10 review. I'm not sure that sounded like a review from someone that liked this movie, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure what they're trying to say there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that one. But anyway, whole review does not talk about my friend Glenda, etc. So
God damn.
Good for them.
I had a lot of questions in that one. This is our most creative review, I think. 7 out of 10. Frolic in brine, goblins be thine.
Oh god.
I like that.
That was so fucking stupid too. What the fuck did that even mean?
I like that a lot. I don't know why.
The death in this movie is made so that we consider death on a human level. It's not like a bullet hole in the forehead or a car exploding. There's a death, everyone talks about it, and there's a funeral, which makes the death seem very real. That was the best part of this film, in my opinion, the way the death is looked at in a realistic way. That being said, Ring is a very good supernatural thriller with much suspense.
Fine.
God damn.
You guys over here trying to write a fucking poem about it.
Yeah, he felt very moved by this. This one, this is another one we can kind of skim through, but I really appreciate the energy of this review. It's way too long, but I think you guys are going to see what I mean. It's entitled 3 Thumbs Up.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
10 out of 10. I've seen about 200 horror movies, and none of them scared or compelled me as much as this one. This is also one of the only few horror movies I'd call an utter good movie and not just a scary one.
All right.
Which
I hate this guy already.
I really love 200 horror movies, and then just like he doesn't seem to like horror movies very much.
Yeah, we've seen 200 of them.
I love the way next clip from this one, because again, this one's just so fucking long. I love the way of implying rather than showing, like, the Asakawa Ryuji relationship. I love the way you never really get a grip on Sadako's character, being torn between feeling sorry for her and fearing her for her evilness.
Okay.
All right. I mean, that
and
just
then-
sounds like bad storytelling to me.
Yeah, that one I felt was a little bit suspect. And then
I
finally,
love how everything's vague and you don't know anything. Like, what?
and then just to shout this out, the soundtrack is just awesome. It's not the usual shrieking when something scary happens, but eerie low tones.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Eerie
God.
low tones. Okay, so this one I really appreciated. It's not very long, but it gets derailed almost instantly and has no rating. This is just called "Am I the Only One Who Has Noticed This?" Nobody else seems to have noticed this, but I think that this is an update of Robert Chambers' The King in Yellow, a classic horror novel about a book so evil that those who read it die afterwards. I admit that book is rather obscure these days, but it is a well-regarded, especially amongst the Lovecraft Cthulhu mythos folks, a good updating of the basic concept, with a fascinating explanation, excellent acting, and effects. I also truly appreciate the Cronenberg references, the most I have seen since Demons 2.
What Cronenberg references?
I was going to ask you guys.
What the fuck is going on? Do they watch the same movie you watch? Good effects, good acting, good what? Cronenberg? What the fuck are they talking about? Some ancient book no one's ever heard of?
right.
Okay, well that is a very famous book. But I
No
do
one's
like
ever
that they
heard of
talk
that
about
book,
the
Kat.
book more than the movie, and then it ends with a Cronenberg reference. This guy I really liked. 6 out of 10. Strays too far away from the book. Ringu is a solid film, suspenseful, creepy score and effects. Even the lighting and pacing of the film is quite good. I have had the privilege to read the novel, which is a masterpiece, and this changes far too much that I believe is essential to telling the story. They changed the main character, which is ridiculous to me. They unnecessarily changed the child's gender and even changed some of Ryuji's past. They got the feel of the story wrong. It's a good film, but nowhere near as good as it could have been. The real Awasaka is male, and his rapport with Ryuji makes the story completely. Shame they went the way that they did, which, honestly...
Written by Cat Velour.
Written by me.
Yeah.
Okay, this one, this is another one where I just feel like the score of this does not match the tone of its review. This is given an 8 out of 10 and titled "All Is Not Well That Ends Well." If you watch the video and then the phone rings, you've got a week to wait and find out what it will bring, or rather what it will take away, as it is a significant price you have to pay just for pressing play to see Sadako Spring. Still a great piece of horror filmmaking, though.
God damn it.
All over the place.
I'm
And
getting
another
bad at these is just great to me.
another one where it feels kind of like someone was trying to write a poem about
Yeah.
But in,
What the fuck?
maybe you'll like this one, Rob. Our final review, 1 out of 10. Don't know what you're on about. The thing is, I don't know what everyone are always talking about, or the reviewers who gave this movie at least good, have only watched Japanese movies and no others. The Ring US remake is far better than this original version, and no offense, I'm Asian, and I don't think Japan makes any good movies that I can remember.
God damn.
Yeah, I mean, he pointed out he's Asian, which is good, I guess, because it's starting to sound pretty racist.
It was starting to sound a little, yeah. They have good ideas and stories, but they're poorly executed. Their movies are generally draggy and not entertaining at all.
Wow.
Ringu was boring, and I wasn't even scared. Hideo Nakata is no way near Gore Verbinski, as proved when he did US The Ring 2 remake. That was horrible compared to The Ring. My advice is don't bother with any other Ring movies except for The Ring US remake, the first one, not the second one, not this one.
I mean, look, I'm not inclined to disagree.
I loved the specificity there at the end.
Yeah, all right.
That's it for reviews.
Yeah,
for
I think so,
reviews.
right?
Does Rob
You
have
said
some
that was the
trivia?
last one. Real quick, I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about the movie. Why when Roger or whatever his name was,
Roger.
Roger?
Yeah, Roger. When Roger watched the tape, why didn't he get a phone call?
He doesn't need a phone call.
Oh, okay.
Sadako doesn't like
Motherfucker,
him.
no.
He didn't. The phone didn't ring, and then when he was sitting there on the bench, there were like some feet that walked up to him or something. What the fuck was going on in this movie? What was that about? Did that make sense to anybody?
The feet, I think that was a vision.
Okay. Oh yeah, because
Um,
he's psychic. Stupidly.
And I do wonder,
Stupidly psychic.
this is a theory. This is not confirmed, but I do wonder if that's like Sadako is maybe being more present for him, like she's coming to visit him instead of calling him, because they do have that psychic connection. I don't really know.
That makes sense when you're close to somebody. Maybe you visit and you don't call. I don't.
Yeah, you just
This
drop
whole fucking
in.
thing is dumb. All right.
Wow.
Facts about the Ringu. There aren't a lot. Mainly because most of them that came up were really boring and didn't matter, kind of like the movie. I don't think this information is correct, by the way. The estimated budget was 1.2 million. That is probably correct. What I don't think is correct is the worldwide gross was listed as $150,000.
Okay.
Maybe that's true, but that doesn't seem right to me. At the time of this film's release, it was the highest grossing horror film in Japanese history. That's the first fact that I have. And it made $150,000. So it doesn't make sense.
I feel like Godzilla made more, but so I don't think that's true. But dude, I don't know, man. Ringu wasn't really like that popular all around the world as after The Ring came out. I didn't know it existed until The Ring came out.
I guess. I don't know. And then the only other fact that I had was that the 2001 UK DVD release on the back cover carried a disclaimer stating that the distributor accepted no responsibility for any injuries or fatalities that may occur during or after viewing.
Okay.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So.
It's good marketing.
It's good marketing. That's it, though. The other facts were really boring and not interesting at all. Like it took them 9 months to make it or something. Who cares?
All right. Interesting.
I have a feeling Rob is not going to score this movie highly.
I have a feeling you are correct.
All right, let's get into them then. Rob, you go last then, because you're going to be a dick. I mean, it's not that my score is going to be super high for this either or nothing. But
I feel like my score isn't a mystery. Like I feel like I should go first, and you guys, because I don't know what you guys are going to score this fucking thing.
Well, I don't know how low you're going to go. Is the thing.
I don't know who's going to be higher between you and Kat. To be honest with you, we know I'm going to be the lowest.
All right, I'll give this my score for this movie is a 4.7. And I don't think that's too bad.
I'm going to be the wild card this episode. We figured it out.
It's a 4.7 for a movie that I have to read. That's pretty good, man. Again, it's not that I love the Ringu or nothing. It's just that I prefer it over The Ring, which does not say much. Usually, we don't do Portnoy's on Cult FM, but you know what? I'll Portnoy it there.
I was going to say.
Just, yeah.
You don't do episodes on Cult FM either.
Kiss my ass, Rob. God damn it. Yeah, so a 4.7. The concept, dude. The concept. And it's not the movie's concept, which is why it didn't, raise the score through the roof or nothing. But they had the balls to tackle it in 1998 with limited resources in Japan for filmmaking and not a ton of money. So I give them a little bit of credit for it. And the performances, I didn't really mention it during the episode, but obviously the performances in the American Ring were better. Like, no one's going to sit and argue that. But I will say that I've mentioned it before with foreign films. It is hard for us to really, truly get a grasp on the performances given that's not our native language and we don't understand the inflections and body languages exact, you know?
I don't know. I felt like I could pretty much decipher that this was shitty acting.
Rob.
God damn it, Rob. And they did what they could with the effects. Granted, you know, Sadako coming out of the TV wasn't the greatest looking thing in the world, especially aging in 2024. But with other stuff, I feel like they did what they could. I think 4.7 is a fair score, man.
All right. Would you like to hear my score now, or should we let Kat go first?
I don't care.
What do you want
I'm
to do,
interested
Kat?
all the same, honestly.
I'm trying to figure out who has the closer score to Mikey.
I guarantee it's you.
I feel like I'm the outlier here.
All right,
Rob,
I'll
let's
just
hear
go.
it.
I'll just go. So this was awful. I don't recommend this to anybody. It's
That's not fair.
what?
It's an important film in the genre, so you can't say that.
I just said it, and I'll double down. I don't recommend anyone watch this movie. It's bad. People who like it should feel bad. The acting is bad, despite what Mikey said about not being able to interpret it. You can interpret bad acting when it's this terrible. The score is god awful. The effects look terrible. It's boring. It's so boring. This movie, it's you know what? I'm going to give it a little extra because of its influence, Mikey, which I don't normally do, but I will do in this case. I give it a 1.9.
God damn. What would it have been without that? Jesus Christ.
0.9. It got a whole point for its influence.
Good Lord.
This
That's
is a,
higher than I thought you were going to go.
This is a bad movie.
Holy shit. All right. Hopes for approval here are dimming, to say the least.
Yeah.
Kat?
I will go on the record as saying that I do think, because of its importance, because of its like the cultural impact that it has, because it stands on its own legs as a 90s Japanese horror movie very well, if you don't compare it to the book. I do actually think that this should have been Slasher Radio approved. There's not a score high enough I could give it to get it there.
Well, you would have to give it a 16, Kat, to get it at this point.
I'd have to give it a 16. As we learned in the Cube episode, I don't have the ability to go above a 10. That gets vetoed. No, I gave it a 7.7. So
Good Lord, Kat.
Oh, shit.
If you're not going to take it seriously, don't even show up on the show. What the hell?
Yeah. So
I wish I could have seen Rob's face.
It's a bad movie, Kat. Like, I mean, you watched the movie, you saw it.
Here's the thing: is I really loved this movie before I read the book. I was really mad at it the last time I watched it, but I'm coming down on the side of, like, if you do what you can to ignore the fact that a better version of the story exists, I think it's pretty good.
No, it's not, though. That's the thing. It's not. In a vacuum, without any other stories ever existing about anything, this one's a bad one.
Oh. Ooh.
He's really pissed about this one, man. I didn't see this coming. But Chris was trying to fuck me and he made Rob. It's like that cartoon thing, just backwards.
It really is.
It is. This is what you get, Rob.
I can't believe that no one else was irritated as much by this movie as I was. I really can't. It was so boring and so bad.
This is what you get. This is what you get. This is the cartoon thing all over again. I thought me and you were gonna stand hand in hand like men and gentlemen, and you fucking left me out in the rain all by myself. This is what you get. I'm glad you hated this movie.
The Perfect Blues was actually pretty good.
Yeah, see, he's still doing it to this day. That's what you get. Kat, I you know what? Good for your score. I'm proud of you. Good for you.
Thank you.
That's what you get, Rob.
It was one of the reasons, though, why it was like, because it's depending, if Rob had gone just a little bit lower, if he hadn't given that point for cultural impact, our scores would have been closer, but he actually, like, pulled ahead.
Yeah. And that's not something I normally do. I don't normally, for like importance or impact or whatever, I don't normally give it. I just judge the film, but I don't know. I kind of felt bad for picking on this one, I guess. Stupid fucking movie.
I don't think you feel that bad for picking on it.
Yeah, you seem to. You seem pretty far right.
I mean,
but I don't think you're losing any sleep tonight.
They tried, right? Like they
Yeah.
tried. They just were really bad at it.
All right. Patreon.com/radio. This is a perfect outcome for me. All right. I haven't had an outcome like this in a while. This is nice. Tiers starting as low as $3 a month. Thank you again, Kate. You pain in the ass for joining.
Love you, Kate.
Extra show every week. Bonus content with before, after, during the show, recording nonsense that doesn't make the show. There's tiers with merch and all that bullshit. Be sure to check it out. And there's also a 1-week free trial. So you can check it out, listen, see if you like it. There's a lot of comedy, horror stuff in there. Actually, even some music too. We just did a list. The Patreon show this week was a list of the top, what was it, Rob? Top 100?
It was Apple Music's list of the 100 best albums of all time.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And our music
That's a
taste,
word for it.
Yeah, the three of our music tastes are as damned as the three of our movie tastes as far as differences in distance. So it was a very interesting conversation. Going over those lists are always a trip. So you get that this week along with all of it. That's the thing. When you sign up for Patreon, you don't get like the week you sign up and then everything as long as you get all of it. So it's just like a full catalog of all kinds of stuff. So if you love the show, you love the Patreon, patreon.com/radio. Follow us on Twitter @/radio, also YouTube on /radio. If you're not subscribed on there, make sure you are. Our interview with Matthew Cote is out on there right now, the video version. Bits and pieces of our interviews with Vincente DeSanti, the director, writer, creator of the Never Hike Alone series, as well as Nathan Basil, who was Leslie Vernon himself. So those are going up on YouTube, as well as other stuff that you'll catch on there. I don't know if you guys watched the video at all, but I put up a clip of me running my ass off on Dead by Daylight, like to mirror survival. Like it was a Michael Myers and he had the add-on where he can, like, if he's near you, he can just grab you and kill you. And I thought I was dead and was just doing what I could. And I got to the exit gate and I was so proud of myself for how well I did throughout the whole match that I felt the need to teabag him on my way out. And I was looking behind me to see my distance, and I ran into the wall of the exit. And he grabbed me and killed me, and I screamed like a bitch, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I've watched it many times.
You son of a... My scream was so pure, dude. That was all emotion. But yeah, check out our YouTube @/radio. Give it a sub and all that shit. I think that's it. You can follow me on Twitter @Mikey'sDead. The Ring episode for Cult FM that I do with Little Miss Huge Clown Penis.
Huge Clown Penis.
Ali Surreal. It's coming. You can follow Cult FM wherever you're listening to Slasher Radio. Honestly, even if we, not that this is even a thought, but if we never did an episode again, like 50 years from now, I'm still going to be promoting. Like, it's just a thing at this point, I think. So, but it is coming. So make sure you're subscribed to Cult FM wherever you are listening to Slasher Radio. Rob, what about you?
I'm on Twitter @RadioRob123. And you can listen to the other show that Kat and I do together, the Nick fucking Woo Cagecast. That's Nick effing Woo Cagecast in your podcast player. And we will have just done our episode on The Weatherman, directed by Gore Verbinski, who directed the Ring American version.
Yeah.
Look at how this shit lines up.
It all ties together.
God damn. I forget what was. Oh, also, I forgot to mention Murder by Numbers starting next week.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So next week we'll be ranking all of this. We'll be giving our personal rankings for the Scream franchise following that, the Child's Play franchise following that, TCM following that, total rankings. So that shit's always interesting. And I just thought it gives me more work on YouTube. Yay. All right, Kat, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter @cat_velour, VOLEUR. You can check out my website, catvelour.com. You can order now from Amazon my latest book. I actually didn't write this one. I curated it. It's an anthology of all epistolary zombie horror. It's called Sincerely Departed, and it will be out by the time this episode drops. So
that sounds awesome. If only I knew what epistolary meant.
Yeah, I was just Kat. You can't be using words like that.
Yeah,
sorry.
What the fuck does epistolated mean?
Epistolary, it's all told in like letters and tweets and forum posts.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad I know what it means now, because I would have just paid. I would have been like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't give a shit about that.
I thought it was like Episcopalian or something.
Well,
My
yeah, I
Episcopalian
was like, what?
zombie horror.
God damn. All right. Yeah, go check that out. Come back and check us out next week. Murder by Numbers time. Good night from Slasher Radio.
All the best of Slasher Radio podcast.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.